Take it.
I know you don't want me to say we're here to make your ugly home beautiful.
We're here to make your home its beautiful best and maximize value.
And maximize value. Whether it's a little ugly or a lot of ugly.
So Style Redefined was started because we felt like we were missing opportunities because clients were telling us we would love to sell, but we don't want to give it away. And there's a lot of work to be done.
And they would want a price up here. Like in their mind, they were thinking of a price that was higher than what we were thinking for what needed to be done.
Well, they were thinking of after renovation pricing because they're comparing it to the sale of their neighbor's home down the street, which was fully remodeled. Lynette, being the visionary that she is, I think I was on vacation somewhere and she's texting me, have you watched Unsellable Houses? We need to do this. And I'm like, oh God, what does she come up with now? And so I watch it, I'm like,
we're already kind of doing this, right?
We were. Yeah, because we were helping them out. We just weren't doing it on the scale that we're doing it now.
Like every once in a while we would help. We would front the cost of something or like a repair or something and get paid on it, paid back into escrow, but we weren't doing it.
Or bring all the vendors in and they would pay for it. It made sense because we didn't want to take on the full liability without making some profit from it. Because, you know, we're lending our money and taking all the risk. And so this made sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes you nervous. That's why we're really careful to run the numbers and make sure it makes sense. And like, what do we really need to do, right? Because you can go crazy if you look at a property and you just have to be really careful. And
we're doing it truly as a flip, as opposed to customizing. For the most part, we take full responsibility for the improvements that are being done, the material selections. We take that out of the hands of the sellers just because the whole point is to get it sold and to market to the masses. And so it truly is a flip as opposed to a customization according to what the sellers had envisioned.
Right. If they were staying in the house, then it would look, you know, completely different. It would be more catered towards their taste and what they want to do. But we have to make sure that we appeal to the most people that we can and kind of look at that area and like, who are the buyers? Like that's the first thing we think about. Who is going to buy this house and what are their needs? The problem with a lot of people is that they're kind of stuck. They don't want to move forward. They're afraid to move forward because they feel so overwhelmed. And I don't know how many times we've come across potential clients that really want to buy that next home, or the home that they're in, for instance, might be too big and they really want to downsize. They've been there for 20 years.
There's a lot of deferred maintenance. They don't have the funds available to do the work, and they don't have the resources to do the work. Like they'll call 3 or 4 contractors and maybe one will show up. And then they'll ask for the estimate and maybe 2 months later they'll get an estimate. And so it's just very frustrating to them. And for us personally, it was frustrating because we would reach out to these people and we wanted to help them and we didn't feel like we could.
There's a period of time where you really want to make sure you list your home as far as when you're going to get the most showings and when the market's hot. It's usually, what would you say, between January for the most part and then
January to September.
And then it really starts slowing down. So sometimes we'd have people that would be thinking about selling, but then they were trying to do it on their own and they'd try to get contractors, and then pretty soon 2 months went by, 3 months went by, you know. And we had a couple situations where by the time they were ready, it was November. And it was the worst time to list. But at that moment, they needed to list, they needed to sell. They didn't have an option. And we thought, gosh, we can give them so much more money if we can just help.
We can get it done quickly. We can control the situation.
I think the biggest thing for us now, like as our company grows, is finding more sources from like investors as far as the money source goes, right? Be able to do this on a larger scale. Finding other avenues, which we're looking into now. just so we could do more.
The lack of inventory on the market.
Population too.
Yeah, the population. There are so many people looking for homes. And when they're looking for homes, they are typically pre-approved for a certain amount and they don't have cash reserves to make improvements. And so the homes need to be move-in ready. It's easy to find homes that aren't very cute and they're still priced high. And so providing homes that are already improved to meet the needs of all the buyers, I feel like it's a huge benefit for the community too. We're helping the sellers by allowing them to maximize their value. We're helping buyers by providing them a product that is move-in ready and in good shape. And we're helping ourselves too. Yeah. So it's a win-win-win.
Right. And there is a large aging population here.
Right.
In our city. And so I think that, as people want to make a transition into maybe a smaller home or like a 55+ community and they've owned their home for a long period of time, I think there are a lot of opportunities out there.
Yeah, because they're the ones a lot of times who have the deferred maintenance.
Right. And it could work on the buyer side too.
Absolutely.
So if we're showing a buyer a home that needs some work, some TLC, or just a little bit of updating, it helps to have that background to show them like what can be done and what would the cost on something like that be, and how could we do that for them or help them. Well, we definitely want this side to grow because we really enjoy it, and I think it's about helping people. Yeah. And we love to do that. That's our whole mission of our real estate team, is to go over, above and beyond for our clients. This is part of it.
And I love beautifying. I love taking something that is ugly. Like I can walk in and I can see what it wants to be. For me, that's a huge reward. And so the Style Redefined fulfills that kind of creative side for me. It helps to beautify the community. And I think we definitely want to grow that. And it's still a part of our real estate business as well, because for the most part, we end up listing those homes.
Right.
And at some point, we want to be able to provide the service to other agents.
Yes, we would love that.
Yeah, because it is a separate business. It's not part of our real estate business. It is a separate business. And so at some point, we look forward to growing it large enough to where we can do this for other agents.
Yes, help other agents be able to help their clients.
I feel like we invest in every home we list, regardless of whether we have improved it or not, because part of our brand is improving every home beyond what it currently is. There are a few times when we walk in and the sellers have it staged perfectly.
Right, it's ready to go.
It's like, okay, we don't need to do anything, but that's like 1% of the time. 99% of the time, we're walking in and making recommendations for extracting personal items, moving furniture around, and potentially bringing in some of our own staging items or some of our stagers' items. And we do have a stager who will work with occupied homes. And so we feel like 99% of the time, we are just improving that property as part of our brand anyway.
Yeah.